Hey folks, welcome to Konveyor community meeting. Today is July 27th and we abide by Konveyor code of conduct, which means please be nice to one another. This meeting will be recorded and available on YouTube for later viewing. I'm going to just pop in the agenda and the chat. In case if you join late and don't have access to the document, please click on the link, add yourself to the list of attendees. My name is Savita and I'm going to be a host today. And does anyone want to just say hi? All right, then. So I am going to dive into the next topic that we have. It's going to be a demo from David. So David, whenever you're ready, please take it away.
Are you guys able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. All right. So what I'd like to do today is to kind of share our progress on the, let me see if I can find the page I want to share. So what I want to do is I want to show the progress that we've made on the .NET external provider for the Analyzer LSP. So what I want to start by showing is the PR that kind of brings us in. So this is still at the proof of concept level, but wanted to talk a little bit about the things that we've learned and the struggles we've gone through and where we are now. So what we have here is the Analyzer.NET provider. This PR is where most of the hacking has been done over the past couple weeks. And there's a couple things that are included in here. One, we're using this thing called the C# LS, which is actually originally, we tried to use OmniSharp Roslyn, which was a project, I think it was started by some developers at Microsoft. We started using that one, but we ran into issues with it not supporting the 3.17 version of the language server protocol. That caused some problems, so we used this C# language server, and we grabbed it, got it running. And then the big issue that we ran into is actually talking to the language server. So you should expect to see like blog posts or something talking about that process, because that was fun. So one thing that we had to do to get this to work, you see in the second bullet point here, is this talk about introducing a server on the client side. So what's happening is the C# language server is making requests back to our client, and we needed to actually respond to those in order for it to be ready to receive requests. And then one additional thing that we have to do is we have to actually wait for the server, the language server, to communicate with us that it's ready before we start sending requests. So one thing that we learned in this process is not all language servers that you talk to are the same. And when you look at, say, NeoVim or different projects and their language servers, and there's long lists of language servers, there's like a bare minimum criteria I think you have to meet as a language server to work with the text editors and VS Code and things like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that other clients will easily be able to talk the standard protocol and get the desired results. The thing I'm actually most proud of is this last one about we did some nifty tricks so that we could actually catch the standard in, standard out the client server chatter. So putting that in the log was a fun project. So what I'll do now is I'm going to share my terminal and actually give a demo. All right. John often says that I don't have the text big enough. So is this text big enough for us?
It's perfect.
Awesome.
Looks good.
Okay. So what you might know about us is that we don't have a whole lot of experience writing .NET or C# or doing any of these things. And there are a lot of articles written about modernizing and migrating .NET projects from one version to another, and picking which one is the best first target was difficult. So this is a toy example, and it's meant to prove this concept. So in this, we have a class program, and we have this method called non-portable method. And what this is supposed to represent is some method that as when we go to run our analysis, we're going to identify it as something that is non-portable, that we can't move forward to this target. And so what we want to have our analyzer do is we want to be able to create a rule that will find references to this method. And so I already started the server. So this is the analyzer, the external provider, the .NET external provider. It's running in Docker, and it's listening inside the container on port 3456. Over on the right, what you can see is it's actually on my host. It's listening on 32803. So if I look at my provider settings, what you'll see is I have this new provider .NET. Its init config, its location of the file is at the same path. So, a quick caveat. The idea is in the future, if we run an external provider as a separate pod in or even the same container in the same pod, they would be sharing the same file system so that the analyzer engine and the provider could be seeing things at the same path. So this is meant to mimic that. And then the address is the host to communicate over gRPC. And before I go further, I'll just show the rule example. So here, I just created a simple rule with some ID, and I'm using a .NET.referenced to look for this non-portable method that I showed you earlier. So now if I run, see if I can remember how to run it. If I run the analyzer, you'll see all sorts of output. It's going to go pretty quick, and I'm going to just step through it. So the first thing that you'll see on the left side, this is a lot of the log info that's available. And the reason this is important is when you're trying to debug issues with language servers, it's going to be really helpful to see what's being sent. So as an example, when we were initially trying to get this running and we were making symbol requests and workspace symbol requests, we eventually found out it wasn't replying because it had sent us, the server had sent us a register capability request, and we were just ignoring it. So that was the reason we needed to start up a server so that we could reply and say, I don't have anything to say, but I replied. And so those are the messages going back and forth. On the analyzer side, what you can see is that we match this rule, and it's associated with a file URI, and it has a position. And if I show you the output YAML, we even get a code snippet of the lines that are associated with the incident. So it is a very toy example. But I think it shows what we're after. I wanted to say that there's a lot of work that we could do in the dependency space. And there's a lot of refuges that we could clean up. But that at least proves the rule that we could do it. So, any questions?
Hey, David, this is really cool to see. Just thank you for showing it.
All right, folks. Does anyone have any questions on the demo or analyzer in general? Cool. It was a great demo, David, and I see like a lot of shout outs and a shout out from now that says great work, David and Chanakya. Does anyone have anything else to add? Cool. Does anyone have any open topics that they want to bring up? Okay, so I just have one quick thing that I want to chat about. I'm seeing a lot of uptake of new contributors joining the Konveyor community. That is amazing. Welcome all new contributors to community. In case if you are wondering where to get started, I'm just gonna put a link in the agenda. There is a website page where you can go get all the information on the mailing list and how to get started. If you go to our Slack channel, there are a lot of links pinned on top where you can try out how the Konveyor in action and see to get a real feel, look and feel of the project. So there are many opportunities to get started with good first issues. Feel free to drop a message in Slack or in the community call or in the mailing list. So that is one topic from me. Does anyone have any question on that? All right, then I have a bunch of kiddos. So I'm going to go first. And I want to first give a shout out to David for assisting a new contributor with the onboarding process. That's been wonderful. Thank you for doing that. A lot of learnings. So even I think a PR came out of that, if I'm not wrong. So that's amazing. Thank you, David. And the other kudos that I have is for Pranav. Pranav was assisting a new contributor get started on one of the good first issues for analyzer, and he provided really great feedback on some of the review feedback were really great. So that was amazing to see that kind of collaboration. I'm hoping that we will grow a lot. We will grow our communities more and bigger. And it's amazing to see that. I have one more that I picked from the chat where it's from Plow, and he mentioned about the work that Devin Chanakya has done for .NET external provider, and it's been wonderful. I mean, we all saw it in action, so it's amazing. And we have a couple from David, so I'm just going to let David talk if he wants to. I don't mean to put you on spot, but I know you're there.
Wow. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the Analyzer team for helping. There was a lot of just banging on keyboard to figure out what was going on and questioning sanity. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the Analyzer team. And Jason, also, I wanted to call him out directly for helping me containerize all that .NET stuff. There were weird errors that I was getting, and well, Jason has a special ability to turn those errors into something actionable. So thank you there. So.
Jason is like a wizard in my eyes. You know, like every single time I reach out to him with some weird issues, and he is always there to help folks. So thank you, Jason. And I did I get anyone? All right. Oh, sorry, Jason. I'm just talking over you. I'm impatient.
No worries. Go ahead.
And there is one more from Pranav, if Pranav wants to talk. Otherwise, I can just... All right, so there's another kudos to Sean for helping new contributors. I feel like this is my favorite section of today's meeting. I know the demo was amazing, but I feel like the community is coming together. So this has made my day. Thank you all for adding shout out and kudos and for the amazing demos and everything. Does anyone have anything else that they want to add? Cool. So we have come to the end of the agenda and the meeting. So if you have any topics, feel free to bring it up in the Konveyor Slack. And if you have any topics that you want to discuss, please add it to the agenda for the next time. And if you're interested in the analyzer work, there is going to be a office hour call next Thursday. Please feel free to join if you're interested in that work. And that's it from me. I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Until then, take care. Bye.
Thanks, Savitha. Thanks, everybody.